This major league pitcher threw a legendary game while hallucinating on LSD. There are nearly 250,000 games in Major League Baseball history, and out of those, fewer than 330 ended in a no-hitter, and one of them was thrown by a pitcher who later said he couldn't even tell if the batter was real. It was June 12, 1970, of course. The Pittsburgh Pirates were facing the San Diego Padres. Doc Ellis was scheduled to pitch. Only problem, he didn't realize it. The night before, he was in LA partying and dropping acid. The next morning, his friend looked at the newspaper and said, "Doc, you're starting today." Most people would have panicked, but Doc Ellis just shrugged, and he took the mound in San Diego, still very much high on LSD. From the stands, it looked like baseball, right? But to Doc, the ball glowed. Sometimes it shrank, sometimes it swelled. He squinted at his catcher's signs and couldn't always read them, so he just threw what felt right. Every pitch was a gamble. But somehow, in the first inning, no hits. As the innings went on, the world bent sideways for him. Doc later said that he thought he saw Jimi Hendrix at the plate swinging a guitar instead of a bat. So he was high as a kite, imagining Jimi Hendrix trying to shred a solo. Kind of crazy. At other times, the batters warped into strange shapes. The ball left trails of light like a comet blazing across the diamond. He walked guys, he hit a batter. His control was unraveling, but still no hits. His teammates knew something was off. He'd spin around, lost after fielding the ball, so they were shouting like second base, first base, guiding him through routine plays like he was playing Simon Says. And yet every time that it mattered the most, the Padres couldn't touch him. The tension grew with every inning. By the fifth inning, Doc had walked half a dozen batters. He threw a wild pitch. He loaded the bases. Normally, a no-hitter is clean and precise. To him, this looked like a bar fight in slow motion. One mistake, one clean swing, and the whole world would just vanish. But batter after batter, still no hits. The game dragged on like a fever dream, and Doc felt time stretch. He felt the ball crawl in slow motion towards the plate, and his body was drenched in sweat. He was shaky, and every ball felt like a disaster waiting to happen. Grounders skidding into the infield, fly balls hanging forever in the sky. Each time the Pirates' defense bailed him out. Each inning, Doc stumbled back to the dugout thinking it was over, and then went back out again. A no-hitter is, usually mastery, but this one was total madness. 8 walks, a hit batter, total chaos. Doc was fighting his own brain because the drug was still very much in his system, and the basic mechanics of the sport, he didn't have a grip on them, and still no hits. So by the 9th, the Pirates were ahead 2-0. The crowd was buzzing. They were realizing they were watching something that just didn't quite make sense. Doc Ellis wound up one last time. 3 outs later, the scoreboard froze the moment in history. 0 hits. Doc Ellis had just thrown one of the rarest achievements in baseball, a no-hitter, while high on LSD. Afterward, Doc admitted that he never pitched on acid again, but he also said, "I pitched every game high on something." In the 1970s, amphetamines were everywhere in baseball. Doc was just one of the ones honest enough to tell the truth. He became a folk hero, the pitcher who wore curlers in his hair, who once hit every batter in the Reds lineup to prove a point, and who left behind one of the wildest sports stories ever told. So maybe Doc Ellis pulled off the strangest feat in all sports, a no-hitter on LSD. But what do you think? Is this the craziest story in pro sports, or do you know one even wilder? Fansplain Me, I want to know what I should cover next. Let me know.